Hello, race fans, karters around the country. Welcome to another edition of This Week in Karting here on the EKN Radio Network. My name is Rob Howden, joined, as always, by David Cole. Episode number 14. It is September the 26th, 2019. Unbelievably, the season is working its way through to the end. Still a couple of weekends to come. Club Series obviously wrapping up around the country. Big races at the end still coming. We'll talk more about that. But again, as you folks know, this particular podcast, This Week in Karting, designed to take all of the news that works its way to the ekartingnews.com homepage. We jam it all into podcast form. Perfect for driving to work, driving home for work, whatever it may be. If you haven't downloaded the EKN Radio Network app, do that ASAP. That way you'll have all the first opportunities to listen to any of the content that we push out here on the EKN Radio Network. After we've run it on the EKN Radio Network, it ends up being turned in to a podcast that you can download on iTunes and Google Play. Again, episode 14 of This Week in Karting. This episode brought to you by the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. If you want to improve your results, it's time for professional instruction and coaching at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Located at the state-of-the-art Speed Sports Racing Park just north of Houston, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy offers custom coaching programs for newcomers and experienced racers alike. Train with a champion with over 30 years of experience to get proven results. Get ready for the big races by training with the best. Reserve your dates now by calling 866-607-7223. All right, David Cole, as we always do, it seems like we do one of these a month with the busy season that we have through the middle of the year. Our last one was at the end of August. It's now the end of September. Episode number 14. Lots to talk about here on This Week in Karting.
Yeah, we tried. We attempted, but we had some scheduling issues come about. So we were going to do this last week. It just didn't work out that way. I had an issue yesterday. We were going to record it yesterday. So it just, it's life and work and things get in the way. So, but it provides an opportunity to kind of jam a number of topics and information that is relevant right now in our sport.
No doubt about it. But let's first talk briefly about the fact that, man, dude, this season's almost done. Isn't this crazy?
It goes by quick, It
does.
We look at it, we're like, how are we going to do this? And we do it, and we're like, how did we do that? And so
that's right.
It just you just kind of roll with it, and especially when you're keeping busy as we do, it just seems to blow by fast because we don't have enough time in the day to be able to do the tasks that we want to complete. So
that's it.
So it just blows by really quick, and all of a sudden, as we know, all of a sudden, Super Nationals are going to be here. So it's kind of how it goes, and then from that, it's like, oh my gosh, we're in Daytona type mentality, and then it's a whole brand new year.
The thought that we're going to have to start our yours and my preparation for the Super Nas, talk about what we're going to do, how we're going to handle our coverage. That blows me away. Now, granted, that's still almost 2 months away, not quite 2 months away. I know I'm in the middle of a 4-weekend run. I head to the Streets of Lancaster Grand Prix this weekend. Then you and I go to the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals at Newcastle. And then I've got 6 weekends off, which is ridiculous to me. But looking forward to using that time as wisely as possible to get a ton of stuff done. Because as you said, David, in the middle of the season, we struggle. There just doesn't seem enough time in the day when you're flying out every Thursday and flying home on Monday night. You got 2 days in the office to do laundry and repack and try to get some work done and get back on the road.
Yeah, it's just how things go when you're a traveling man. I mean, how many 20-some, 30-some events that you've been to this year?
It'll be 29 when I'm all said and done. I still got a couple left. 4 left. Three left. Only 3. All right, David, let's jump into this deal. You're the news manager at EKN. I think probably for so many people, some of the biggest news that hit the airwaves for us over the last month was the fact that USAC Karting confirming that the Battle at the Brickyard will be back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 2020. They've given us a date. Obviously, we lost that opening weekend in July with NASCAR moving their event to IMS on that 4th of July weekend. But talk a little bit about the date. We got social media stuff hitting. This is and I've been talking to a lot of people about this race over the last couple of months, and I think there's even more excitement for it now than there ever has been.
Well, it's something that's brand new. I mean, yeah, this was the third year that they had it, and now next year will be the fourth on July 23rd through the 26th. And so, yeah, it's just going to continue to build, because as people go to the event, it's just kind of like, the tell a friend type situation where this person goes to the event, they tell a friend, that person goes to the event, they tell a friend and another friend and another friend. So it's kind of, just that simple marketing factor of people telling everybody how cool and awesome the experience is of racing at Battle at the Brickyard. I mean, to be inside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and to be able to race inside of it is just phenomenal and memorable but bucket lists.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can go on, but just the fact that, I mean, it's simple. It's a relatively funny event. And maybe moving towards late July, it won't be as hot as it was this past year.
It was a little warm. Running 3 categories might have been a little bit aggressive in terms of what I was trying to do. But, the funny thing is, you mentioned, Dave, word of mouth, obviously, is so key. It's also a little FOMO. Like, seriously, there was, 50 plus in a couple of the classes. So there's a lot of fear of missing out from these people, right? They look at it and went, damn, why didn't I go to that last year? That should have been, I could have went to that. I just think more guys are going to say, hey, I'm not missing this race. Because as we've talked about for many, many years, David, numbers breed numbers. And man, when you got 40, 50 guys in the class, in our 206 classes, there's going to be more next year. People are going to come out and just have a blast. It's such a relaxed atmosphere. It's a cool event. What were we kind of dubbing it? Like the Super Nationals of club racing kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, essentially, yeah, that's kind of what it is, because it's just kind of, it's focused at grassroots racers. It's not, I mean, now it's drawing in some of the bigger teams, but it's focused on guys who just want to come and race. It's like the runoffs of SCCA, where everybody's coming together and just having a good time. And it's one race, not this 2 race crap that we deal with on the national level. It's, you go to this event, there's one winner in every category. That's it.
Yep.
And that is another thing, because there's no other event like this. This isn't a points race. There's no championship involved. It's, hey, come race, come do what you want to do. Hey, if you just want to be out there, you can be out there. It's really a big mixture of sprint racing and road racing, really, to be honest, is what it is. And as we know from our road racing experience, it's very relaxed. And yeah, when you're on track, it's a little intense. But after that, it's like, hey, relax, have some drinks, chit chat, and do whatever. It's almost a combination of 2 different worlds.
David, you said it straight up. One winner in 206 senior, one winner in 206 master, one winner in shifter, one winner in Rob Howden versus David Cole, one winner.
I'm still the greatest, but that's
one point. Winner in Rob Howden versus David Cole. Just going to get that out there.
Yeah. I'll let you talk all you want about it. That's fine.
All right, so moving on Thursday, on-track activities Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would assume very similar class structure to this past year. We'll see. David, you're saying more coming. Obviously, the news will keep coming out. Pit area wise, rules, class structure. I don't foresee a lot of changes, because there's not really much they need to mess with unless they say, hey, listen, if there's a couple categories that maybe weren't supported enough, right? They may make some adjustments there. Where they make some adjustments shifter-wise, engine-wise, weight-wise. That's a possibility. A lot of that's obviously still kind of getting cemented with the introduction and now more support and momentum for the IAME SSE 175 shifter. It's kind of, people are trying to figure out where to fit it in weight-wise. But I don't think, and would you agree, we don't foresee a lot of changes?
Class structure wise, I don't think so. I think they'll probably kind of review a couple of the programs, maybe. Hopefully weight, because obviously we know that that's an issue, and that's something we'll kind of address here in the coming weeks with some editorial on the website. But I think, there's still, it depends on exactly how the event unfolds, because they've had the USAC quarter midgets going on at that end of the facility. And so we're still kind of unsure of because there's some rumors going around about that event. So again, that's still kind of a wait and see onto if anything else shakes up regarding the event.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. That's a little, that could make things interesting. You're right. You are correct, David. Good point. Let's jump into the next piece here. Again, this is This Week in Karting here on the EKN Radio Network. My name's Rob Howden. David Cole, of course, joining us, the managing editor of EKN. David, Rock Cup USA coming out with kind of a little promo, a little opportunity, a little invitation to provide VLR 100cc engines to Briggs 206 competitors who may want to run at the Rock the Rio event in Las Vegas in late October.
Yeah, basically what it boils down to is the inability to add any more classes to the event. The Rock the Rio event I believe this is the third year that they're having the event. It's got a pretty solid schedule that they're trying to keep, maximum track time, but also provide the opportunity to be done at a reasonable time and not be at the racetrack for 12 hours a day type mentality. So they haven't included the Briggs 206 categories. So this provides an opportunity for Briggs racers who do want to take part in it, like they did with Florida Winter Tour and the rock festivals that they had as well, to take part in the Rock the Rio event without having to make an engine purchase. So Rock Cup USA is providing 45 engines, VLR engines, to junior, senior, and masters drivers. They all must register through the Rock Cup USA website, complete an engine rental form, and submit any type of information that they're asking regarding results or your competition status as a Briggs 206 racer. So we'll see how many people take advantage of that, and also those who do take part of this have the opportunity to purchase the engine for a discounted price of $1,100. So it's a really great opportunity for Rock Cup USA to get the VLR engine out there to more people and provide Briggs racers the opportunity to race in Vegas, because as we know right now, there are no major events going on in Las Vegas for Briggs racing right now. So or even club. I mean, maybe I don't even know if the club races that Las Vegas Kart Club has a 206 class or not. So it's a cool opportunity. Definitely race Halloween weekend, October 28th through November 2nd, to be able to celebrate Halloween in Las Vegas. That alone is probably worth the price.
I was going to say that's if you've never done that before, it's interesting. That was in the early days of the SCUSA Super National. We did that a couple times where it was on where it was like over top of the Halloween weekend, and that's a place gets pretty freaky on Halloween. Let's put it that way. Is that a good enough word? Is that a good word? Freaky, you think?
Is it freaky? Is it anything like Hangover?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, potentially. All right, folks. We're underway here on This Week in Karting. We've come up to our first break. Stay with us. More to come here on the EKN Radio Network. The 2019 season is rapidly coming to a close, and it's time to start thinking about 2020. Get out your calendar and mark off the dates for the fastest growing Rock Cup program in the U.S., the Challenge of the Americas. It's our 13th season and year 3 of our Rock focus, and 2020 will be the biggest yet. As always, the Challenge features 3 race weekends at 3 of the finest tracks in the West: the Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Cal Speed Karting in Fontana, and Sonoma in NorCal Wine Country. Our classes include Micro, Mini, Junior, Senior, and Masters Rock, our multi-manufacturer 100cc Junior, Senior, and Masters level, and our well-supported Rock Shifter and Rock Shifter Masters program. We're by far the largest shifter program in the West, with 56 unique competitors and an average of 32 shifter drivers in just 2 categories this past winter. While other West Coast programs are shrinking, the Challenge of the Americas and Rock are growing. With over 125 entries at last year's opener, 150 plus is certainly a possibility for 2020. So make sure you're part of the fun. Prizes include tickets to the massive Rock Cup Super Final and the Rock the Rio event in Las Vegas. The Challenge opener is less than 4 months away, so head to our website at challengekarting.com, pull out that calendar, and lock in the dates. We'll see you in Tucson. In a sport where the difference between winning and losing is measured in hundredths of a second, you can't afford to leave anything on the table. You invest in the best equipment, the latest components, and top-of-the-line data acquisition systems. Anything to find one more tenth, right? I'll tell you right now, the best investment you could ever make is in yourself. If you want to improve your results, it's time for professional instruction and coaching at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Located at the new state-of-the-art Speed Sports Racing Park just north of Houston, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy uses the very best equipment, Burrell Art Carts. They offer half-day, one-day, two-day, and three-day clinics. They have a one-on-one student-to-instructor ratio, and they will design a customized curriculum for each student. Alan Rudolph is one of the most respected people in the sport, and he has nearly 20 years' experience training drivers, including Chase Elliott, Neil Alberico, Austin Versteeg, and Sabre Cook, and rising stars like Pietro Fittipaldi. Train with a champion with over 30 years of racing experience to get proven results. Start off your season with a driver tune-up. Tune up your season with some driver coaching. Or get ready for the big races by training with the best. Reserve your dates now by calling 866-607-RACE. That's 866-607-7223. For more information, visit speedsportsracingpark.com/racing-academy.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole, episode number 14 of This Week in Karting. Hopefully you're chilling out, working on your kart in the garage, or potentially driving to work or coming home, and whatever your commute may be. If you're on the train, great way to be able to pass the time, getting all the information you want on the sport of karting. David,
or trying to kill time at work, even.
Whoa! Listen, let's not mess with the productivity of our listenership. Because I don't want anybody to get fired because they've got the earbuds in and they're supposed to be getting work done and they're listening to EKN instead. Actually, maybe I don't want anybody to get fired. If they want to listen at work, it's fine with me, right?
That's right. Hey, you got to listen. There's a lot of people that are actually listening to podcasts and radios while they work.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Why not? I do.
Yeah. That explains so much. Yes, it does. Yeah, hey, listen, here's one thing. When this landed, I was like, whoa, okay. We've seen a lot of movement in terms of drivers going to different teams, onto different chassis, especially at the top of the shifter kart ranks this year. Jake French going to Croc, Billy Musgrave onto the Croc, AJ Myers from Croc to CRG Nordam, just boom, everything going like crazy. A new one. Hitting the airwaves, hitting the EKN and the homepage. Talk about this. This is national number one stuff going on here right now. Big name driver going home.
Yeah, Kyle Wick began his karting career basically at Rollison Performance Group. Raced with them a number of years and was really under the tent up until the end of 2018. Still ran a CRG chassis for the last 3 seasons. Moved over to CRG Nordam at the end of last year. I believe it began at Supernats and followed with a team through the Pro Tour. Even though he did not score a victory, was probably one of the more consistent drivers throughout the year, earning 5 top 5 finishes and 6 starts, including 3 third-place finishes. But after that performance, earning the championship, Kyle Wick now returns back home to the Rollison Performance Group, beginning this past weekend at the IKF Sprint Grand Nationals there at Pat's Acres Racing Complex. So Kyle Wick now moving from CRG Nordam and the CRG chassis to Rollison Performance Group aboard the Tony Kart chassis.
Yeah, that's the thing. When we got the news, I gave Mike Rawlson a call, quick chat, said, "Hey, listen, Tony Kart Green. Obviously all the OTK products are the same as we know, but Mike told me essentially what they're doing. It's going to be their single speed stuff's going to be on the Cosmic still. Their shifter kart program is going to move to Tony Kart Green to be on that brand, and of course, National Number One will be there to kind of run that Tony Kart. It'll be interesting, I think, to see how everything shakes down for Kyle Wick. He's got to transition from the CRG to the Tony. I look forward to talking to him to see what he says in terms of the feel wise, how the transition's been. I think it'll be really interesting. This is cool though.
Well, it shouldn't be too hard because he began karting in OTK products. So that's
true.
That's gonna, it's not something completely new to him. And now shifter kart wise, yeah, it's completely new. But it does open the door for him to be able to race other different programs, because we've seen the RPG tent going to events throughout the country, whether it be Rotax or Rock or SCUSA, anything. Rawlson is going to different events where his racers want to go to or their team needs to be. So that's one good thing. But really, I think what the reasoning for the Tony Kart is, I don't think Bonner Moulton wants to run Cosmic Colors.
Well, all right. I can respect that. You might be right.
We've never seen Bonner in Cosmic Colors, have we? Other than maybe a T-shirt. Even he's wearing RPG colors, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So I really think it's the fact that Bonner said, no, this is shifter kart racing. It needs to be Tony Kart.
That's interesting. And as we cap this up, I'll go a quick side to it. When we were at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for the IndyCar race, they were doing a photo shoot. Obviously, Felix Rosenquist for Chip Ganassi Racing had the Monster sponsorship that weekend, the flat black, and it was badass. So, of course, they're doing a photo shoot out there on pit lane. They got some sexy models out there. They got a couple other Monster Energy motorsports athletes on a couple motorcycles, that kind of thing. Cool shot. And I look over, and this is maybe just before your time, David, but you might remember. And this is where Bonner Moulton comes into this deal. I just wanted to bring this up because it hit my mind. I look over at the guy taking the photos, and it's Rob Mathis.
Yeah.
And so you got to go back to like the early days, like 99, 2000, 2001 of the SuperKart USA Pro Moto Tour at the time. And Bonner Moulton and Rob Mathis were teammates. They were on CRGs back then. I think they had some sponsorship from, I want to say like what Park City, like the ski resort or something like that. Obviously, Rob has gone on to become a world-renowned ski and snowboard photographer. But it was just wild for me. It was essentially a 20-year flashback when here he is standing 10 feet from me.
I believe he did stuff for Kart Sport magazine as well too.
He did indeed. Yeah, he shot a lot of stuff for Kart Sport. You're right. Yeah, but good, just a super good guy. And I just thinking, if you're bagging on Bonner, I think we might as well bag on the fact that it was him and Rob racing 20 something years ago. That's a long. He's old.
Long time ago. Well, remember, he's been to every Super Nationals. He's 23 this year, so
I love it.
So he's been racing longer than all the racers under the tent at Rawlson Performance Group
have been alive.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. Anyway, so listen, speaking of Tony Kart, and speaking of Supernats, you hate to hear it, I guess, but man, pretty legendary driver in the Tony Kart OTK program announcing his retirement recently. And, David, we've had the pleasure of being able to watch him drive, to win Supernats, to win money from Tom Kutcher. And it's a guy that we've had a chance to meet many, many times. And I don't think we call each other friends, but it's, casual acquaintance at the racetrack. Marco Artigo retiring from competition, 36-year-old driver, the Italian Tony Kart factory driver with a hell of a resume.
Oh, long resume. Ever since I've been covering the sport, his name has been around and towards the top of a lot of results throughout the years. 36 years old. You're saying, hey man, why don't you run Masters? Well, I don't think in Europe Masters is really looked at as something you do. You look at a guy like Ron White here, who's never move. I don't think ever moving to the Masters. So it's kind of that mentality. And I think this is kind of just where he's going to be able to work a little bit more behind the scenes and not do it very much driving. I really don't see. It's kind of like a David Foray, where he came back and raced Intrepid this past year at the KZ World Karting Championships last weekend. I think we'll see him again come back, but maybe just not full time. Just kind of, I just don't see him ever not racing again type mentality.
Yeah, right. He'll go away for a bit, then maybe come back for a one-off here and there. I mean, that'd be interesting. But let's look at the resume, right? KF World Champion 2007, 2008, KZ World Champion 2014, 6 WSK titles, 5-time European champion, 3-time Superkarts USA Super Nationals winner as well. He just needs that one more, David, to try to go be the record holder, right?
Well, honestly, since that 2012 victory, he had not been back to the Super Nationals.
Yeah.
So that had a lot to do with him not getting that 4th victory. So being gone over the last 7 years kind of cost him that opportunity. But again, it's just he was 29 when he last won. So maybe he thought it was time for him not to come back anymore. But I guarantee we'll probably see him here in the United States, probably doing probably some driver coaching or here and that, because we continue to see a lot of former world champions eventually make their way over to the United States, such as Mike Wilson and Danilo Rossi and David Foray and many others.
I'm thinking I'd have to pull out the old issues of Shifter Card Illustrated, but 2007 when he won at the Supernats at Sam Boyd Stadium, that might have been the first year of the big cash too. I think it might have been the first $10,000 year. Was it not?
It was. I don't know if it was the first year of the big cash, but that was the first year that we had a lot of international drivers, because it was the one Supernats I missed since 2004. So
that's right.
I was talking to somebody about that event the other day, Race Liberante, because he was on the podium that year in S5. And I'm like, I couldn't figure out when he was on the podium because I had not seen it. Well, now I know why I had not seen it, because I wasn't even there. So
you weren't there.
So that made a lot of sense. Yeah. So 2007 was really when, we occasionally had a couple international drivers here and there, but nobody such as the name of Marco Artigo or even others that came around that year. And then from there, the KZ category really grew and continued with the big amount of cash.
Well, here's the, I just reached down here looking at the thing. You know what? Because it wasn't in Shifter Card Illustrated or Super Card Illustrated, because we shut it down at the end of 2006. It was e-karting news only at that point, right? Because the magazine got shut down at the end, after the Supernats of 2006. Anyways, on behalf of David and I and everybody e-karting news, congratulations to Marco Artigo. Absolute stellar career. It's a pleasure to watch him race. And ideally, as David said, we may get a chance to see him back behind the wheel one day.
Yes, it was $10,000.
There you go, 10,000.
I don't know if that was the first year. So
I want to say it was the first year. Might not have been.
I'll look at 2006. Just
do a little work, Cole.
Yeah, you do your radio thing. I'll look at this.
All right, folks, stick with us. More to come. After this break, we're going to talk about, David's going to give us some input on the WK Hall of Fame, and then we'll talk more about the event that's coming around the corner here right now. Will be the biggest ever in its short history. The Cup Karts North America format was confirmed. We'll talk more about that when we come back to this edition of This Week in Karting.
As this year's karting season draws to a close, the World Karting Association has turned its focus on the always exciting 2019 Grand National schedules set for this fall. Preparations are underway for the famous WKA Grand National Eagles to be awarded to both sprint and road racers in a pair of big events. Even more exciting, as each race ends the season for both series, the 2019 National Series points champions will be decided as each series takes on the popular Grand National events. In the National Sprint Race Division, the Bridgestone Manufacturers Cup, the event will be hosted by the iconic Newcastle Motorsports Park on October 11th through 13th. Once again, for the 2019 Manufacturers Cup Grand National, series organizers have slated the super competitive track configuration 40 of the Newcastle circuit, which promises last corner battles to the checkered flag for both the Grand National Eagles as well as the championship titles. Road racers in the Vega Tires National Road Race Series will return to the popular National Corvette Museum Circuit in Bowling Green, Kentucky on November 8th through 10th for the season-ending WKA Grand Nationals. Continuing with its cooperative programs, WKA invites both KART and CES as promotional partners for this major event. 2 events. The legendary Grand National Eagles awarded, National Series points champions decided. It's the 2019 WKA Grand National schedule. Registration opens September 1st. Visit worldkarting.com to lock in your spot on the grid.
Rotax is officially back in America, and J3 Competition is the iconic brand's new importer and distributor for the United States. With a focus on top-notch customer service and unparalleled product support, J3 Competition is excited to work with club and regional series to build the Rotax community across the United States. For 2019, J3 Competition formed its Stars and Stripes racing program, which highlights its national Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals ticket events. The 2 events, the Stars and Stripes Open and the Stars and Stripes Trophy, awarded tickets to 10 drivers to participate in the Rotax Grand Finals in Italy, the sport's most talked about global event. Rotax is a global leader in 2-cycle technology, and alongside J3 Competition, who brings more than 75 years of experience to the brand here in the U.S., the industry is safe with a bright future. Check out the new Rotax USA program at racerotax.com. When you think racing tire in the U.S., one name stands out: Huger. The history of Huger Racing Tire is one of an American dream and is the tire designed for champions. At the end of 2018, Margay Racing became the sole United States and Canadian karting distributor, establishing Hoosier Kartsport. Throughout 2019, Hoosier Kartsport has expanded the Hoosier brand to kart shops, tracks, clubs, and racing series across North America, focused on grassroots programs. 4 different compounds are available through Hoosier Kartsport. The R55 is among the most popular with shifter kart categories. The R60 and R70 serve the 2-cycle and 4-cycle community at the club and regional level. The R80 is the official compound of the Margay Ignite program. The Hoosier Wet has been tested to the limits and ranks among the top rain racing tire in karting today. With a wide range of compounds and a made-in-the-USA racing heritage, Hoosier Kartsport has the tire you need for your track, series, or personal racing needs. Head to HoosierKartsport.com today to find your nearest dealer and follow them on all social media platforms by searching Hoosier Kartsport. Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network. During the break that we had here, David Cole doing everything he could to try to prove me wrong in terms of when the $10,000 was first dropped. David, you got some input?
Yeah, 2006, Gary Carlton won Super Nationals 10 and took home $10,000 for that race.
Probably why Article came over the next year.
Probably.
Right?
That probably had a lot to do with it.
Probably did.
Yeah, he... Carlton was on the CRG and had who did he beat? Speed. Yep.
Final issue of the magazine.
That would be in the final. That would be in the final issue.
Pulling it up right now. I got it in front of me. Yeah. Here it is. Wow, this is badass. Here we go.
The rest of the top 5 split another $10,000.
Here's your quote. So here's your top 10. This is top 10 from 2006 Super Nationals. Man. Final issue of the magazine. That's the badass. Gary Carlton with the win. Alex Speed second. John Cavacuti third. Tad Funakoshi fourth. Matt Jaskell fifth. David Yurka sixth. Jammin' John Branham seventh. Alan Rudolph eighth. Michael Valiente ninth. And a former Super Nats winner, or was it former Jason Bowles coming home in 10th.
Yeah, Bowles won in 2004. Valiente has 3 victories as well too at the Super Nats.
I always love going.
Rudolph never won at the Super Nats.
Did he never win at the Super Nats?
Never won at the Super Nats.
Wowza. Seriously.
Seriously, how did you not know this? Come on, you're like the Alan Rudolph fan club president, aren't you?
He's a good man, no doubt about it. No doubt. I love looking through these. Tag senior Daniel Morab was the winner that year.
Yeah, first
Matt Johnson was P4.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hot Rocks Irving winning tag master on the Beeland.
Yeah, he was a cheater.
The Forest
cheater.
On the Beeland. John Crow in the third spot there. I love watching this stuff. What else we got?
Darren Elliott won G1 and a CRG. Jeff Luttrell. That was the first year of S4. Jeff.
Listen to the G1. Darren Elliott, Colin Lynn, Shane Shipley, Bonner Moulton, Sergio Machado, Kelly Baker, Nick Firestone, Eduardo Martins, Steven Ferreira, and Phil Conti. I love it. Connor DeFilippi winning in the S3 class. Jeff Luttrell, like you said, winning in the S4.
That was Connor's third win. Because the year before that, he had the 2 wins in JICA.
In what class?
JICA and 80 Junior.
Yep. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. David Cole. Impressive, David. Yeah, there's a picture right there. Darren Elliott won $5,000 for winning G1. Tom Kutcher with short hair.
that you never see anymore.
No way, man. Good stuff, though. Pulling out the old magazine there. That's fantastic. All right, David, let's jump into we're talking Scusa. Let's jump into WKA. They've been taking the opportunity to induct some people into the Hall of Fame, which I think has been good. And this is a long run for this WKA organization. And all the names that are coming out now are the guys that I've known kind of for the last 20 years of my career as a journalist. Give us some input on more inductees to the WKA Hall of Fame.
Well, at the recent Manufacturers Cup Series event that was held at the Badger Kart Club facility, they inducted actually 4 people into the WKA Hall of Fame, both pairs being father-son duos. So you think about father-sons in karting, especially here in the Midwest, these 2 families are really stand out as longtime supporters, racers, industry members, and volunteers, because they've all put a lot of time and effort into the sport. Steve and Brian Jacobson being the first duo out of Illinois. We know Steve has been in the industry a long time. Brian, a long-time racer, now part of the industry as well too. So they were inducted alongside George and Jamie Siraki of Wisconsin. We know the Siraki family and Franklin Franklin Motorsports and Team Merlin. George is the ultimate volunteer for this sport. He's still going strong, putting in many hours every week with WKA still as a trustee, also with the Badger Kart Club and many other things. And we know Jamie Siraki, industry member, longtime racer, just two really big families that have put their name into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I just think, David, about my 20 years and knowing what they've done and how long they've been around. Those guys were the stalwarts, right? When I first got into this deal, it was part of the industry, it was part of the sport itself. It's just great selections there for sure. Joining other members that they inducted this year: Richter Sang, Terry Trader, Keith Freeber, and Robbie Harper also going in as well. A couple more races still to come with WKA, David, to wrap up their season. They got Grand Nationals coming, right?
Yeah, the Grand Nationals for Manufactured Cup Series is going to be heading to Newcastle Motorsports Park on October 11 through 13. So that is basically in 2 weeks. The road race finishes out their 2019 season at the NCM Motorsports Park in Bowling Green, Kentucky. If you've never been to the National Corvette Museum, this is their racetrack, and it's probably a really cool event to be part of. The only thing we might be heading down there, but we're still wondering about weather. So it's going to be one of those week of things to see if we can head down there.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's move, David, into some of the hot topic stuff right now. And that's the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, the third edition of this race. First edition, solid out of the box. Second, a lot more drivers came. We've obviously been talking to Greg Jasperson quite a bit. We did the podcast with him at the start of the season to talk about their Champions Cup series, the actual regional series. But so much chatter about this Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals now. They opened registration, and CIK 206 sold out at 40 carts in 4 hours. I think. Was it 4 hours? I think something like that. Some ridiculous short amount of time. The whole thing was sold out. So they ended up opening up again. Essentially, everything's wide open. They're going to take as many people as they can, and they'll figure out the race, the weekend schedule at that point. But David, man, a lot of chatter about with this race. Obviously, not this weekend, but coming up next weekend, October 4th, 5th, and 6th at Newcastle Motorsports Park. It's going to be a great one, I think.
Yeah, that the chatter has been really leading up till they announced it was what format were they going to follow, because they've had different type of event structures to kind of decide. The first year they actually had 2 different finals. So thankfully they got away from that, because we know we hate that.
We do.
But this year,
one winner.
Yeah, this year they're going with qualifying, 3 heat races, and the points from those heat races will decide the lineup for the main event. That'll be conducted over Saturday and Sunday. Practice, unofficial practice will be on Friday. We'll be there doing that. And then the biggest thing was the layout. And they just announced that this week, confirming the same configuration as 2018, which is configuration 43. Something I know you probably have never seen, where they use the little Monza that sits inside.
I have not.
They use part of that along with the shorter 180, so they don't go all the way down to I-70. Other than that, the rest of the track is pretty much the same as the national layout. So it's more of the 4-stroke, 4-cycle layout that you don't need the long straightaways for the Briggs. So.
Exactly. So we're not bouncing off the rev limiter for 500 yards.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah.
One of the news pieces that came out about the event that I thought was just absolutely tremendous was Briggs and Stratton stepping up with some travel assistance. Depending on which state you were in, how far away you were from the race, the track itself, anywhere between $40 to $80 worth of fuel cards to help your travel, which I just think was, it's just a great step to help someone who's coming. Again, this is a low budget race, right? We're all running the Briggs and Stratton engine for the most part because it's affordable racing. It's a ton of fun, but it's affordable, and we're not rolling big toter homes and stuff, and to have that little bit of help from Briggs and Stratton in terms of covering some of your fuel costs, I think is massive. What a gesture.
Because again, the Cup Karts North America program is focused on grassroots racers, and that's what they're focused on, making sure are taken care of. Not necessarily, just $40 for a trip is a big amount regarding gas, depending on where you're coming from. And we keep hearing there's people coming from Pacific Northwest, all the way down from Florida, all the way from Texas. So there's all the way from northern Canada, northeast Canada. So there's people coming from all corners of the continent. And so just this little bit of money is great. And it maybe decides, hey, a club racer who's questioning on going, just that $40 in gas money may sway their decision to go or not go.
I agree. So obviously hearing about a lot of teams coming in. Most recently, actually pushing out on social media, Margay actually going to be coming and bringing a little squad. Obviously going to be a lot of Margays there as it is, but they're bringing some of their guns coming in. Evan Stammer's coming in, Pistol Pete Vedder's coming in. There's going to be some guns running for Margay at this particular event this year as well.
Yeah, mostly their factory guys are in the senior and masters categories. So we're gonna have to race with Pistol Pete and Ken Williams and Brandon Moore, three good drivers that we've been racing with over the last year and a couple of years.
Hey, let's talk about
which is weird because Ken was working on Chris Wheeler's kart, who I raced for at Indy. So that's right. Kind of funny.
That's right. So let's talk about our rides, David. You're jumping aboard a CRG. You had a chance to actually do a quick test of that kart a couple of years ago at Newcastle when we were there for the SCUSA weekend, but you're actually running with LSR Motorsports. I like it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, the chassis is a little bit different. They've made a couple of little tweaks here and there over the last couple of years from that original model, but it's still very similar to what they've had. So yeah, I've got, I think maybe 20 laps on that chassis, but definitely Friday will be a very much welcome practice day because anytime you get behind the wheel is good. And so obviously the first part will be learning. And then after that, it'll be just fine tuning and trying to get quick. Thankfully, I'll have a couple drivers. I'll have Stacy Gunn, who's been racing the kart for a number of years. She'll be in the Masters class, so we'll be able to kind of bounce ideas and thoughts off one another regarding the chassis setup. And then also Austin Garrison's going to be racing in senior. So to have a driver like that under the tent, and maybe I'll actually get some driver coaching.
Wow. You could use that.
Well, as much crap as you keep talking, I really got to put in 100% effort in.
Hey, hold on. Let's be real. The talker of the crap is you. You're the one that's aggressive. I'm just getting back here and bobbing and weaving. You
bobbing and weaving. That's kind of like how your driving style is. Yes.
You serve one across, I knock it back. That's pretty much the way it goes.
All right.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, yes, because you and I, we have so little time to drive, David. When we do, it's you and I go to having a good time. When I ran the Texas Pro Kart Challenge race at Amarillo with Alan Rudolph and his Speed Sports racing team, I actually had a little bit of time to look at some video and just to get a little bit of that input from Alan. It changed. I found probably 0.3 of a second the next session. So again, as you said, coaching so crucial, and it was great to, of course, have Alan there. Now I'll be back on board Burrell again. I won't be on the Burrell. I ran the Burrell for Alan down there. Mark Steele called me. He's like, got with me at the Battle of the Brickyard actually, and said, "Hey, listen, I want you to run with us. I want you to put you on a Ricardo." I said, you know what? Sounds good. If I'm able to work with you guys in PSL, that's awesome. I know PSL is going to be down there. The cool deal is, so they're going to take the kart that I drive all weekend long, and they're going to raffle it off. I think it's $30 a ticket. You buy it at the racetrack, $30 a ticket, and at the end of the weekend, someone's winning my go-kart, which I think is pretty cool. I'll try not to wreck it. David, stay away from me.
Well, I'll be ahead of you, so don't worry.
David, it wasn't that way at the Battle of the Brickyard. How in the world do you think that's going to happen at Newcastle? I don't understand.
It was in practice because I was just looking at the practice video. I'm like, man, where's Rob? Oh, that's right. He was behind me trying to learn.
It's called learning draft. Had you learned the draft, you wouldn't have qualified. You wouldn't have qualified 18th. You would.
See, I blame that on Rick Folks and him and his bump drafting.
You just didn't know how to handle the strategy. I did that in practice, got a good feel for it. You didn't understand it because you just made a little mistake, Dave. It's okay though. Live and learn, Dave.
Qualifying has never been. I think I had one good qualifying session ever in my life, and that was Rock Island in the wet. So if it's not raining, I'm not going to do good in qualifying.
Right. That's good for you then. And we're not in the same go-karts this time. When you and I were in the Comets, we were working together, right? When we were on the Eagles. Now we're totally different. We're not going out together either. So you can't. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even talking to you on the weekend.
Wow. Well,
maybe at night, but not during the day, man. It's full. It's
here's
game
when,
face.
Here's when you will be talking to me. When I'm rocking and rolling at my first annual Burger Smash, you'll be talking because I'll be giving you a hamburger and you're going to be loving it. It's delicious.
Yes, that when food is involved, I will talk to you.
So, folks, you might have seen it on social media. We're gonna raise a bit of money for the Riley Children's Foundation. I love making hamburgers on my Blackstone griddle. I called up Mike Adams down at the track. They actually have a Blackstone, so I'm going to smash a bunch of burgers. We're going to try to raise some money. I've got a bunch of sponsors on board. Cooper Tires has come on board as a title sponsor for the program. I'm pretty stoked about this because I think this is just going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to smash probably 200 to 250 burgers. It's $10 a plate. Cooper Tires on board as a presenting sponsor. Margay Racing, Hoosier Kart Sport, Trinity Karting Group, Luttrell Racing and Ionic Edge, Croc Promotion USA, MyLaps, Stilo USA, and OTK USA are those who have signed on already, David, to be part of this action. We're hoping to raise like $3,000. Which I think it'd be awesome to be able to give to Riley Children's Foundation. We're going to have T-shirts that you're going to be able to buy. Couldn't get them done on time because it was kind of a last-minute deal. We'll be selling a limited release of those on our EKN store through Styled Aesthetic. But we're just going to smash a bunch of burgers. It's going to be Friday, probably as soon as practice is done on Friday. We're going to have some fun on the griddle, drink some cold beer. David and I will be doing some trash talk. Alicia's going to help out. I hope everyone just don't plan for any food, or at least come over for a snack on Friday after the sessions. We'll bang out a bunch of burgers and have some fun. I like it.
And if you're not going to be able to attend, you can still be part of the donation and part of raising the funds to Riley. So contact Rob or contact myself, and we'll get you connected to the right way to donate.
Well, you know what? And we'll put that link up there, David, because it's actually kind of cool. Because we, believe it or not, we already have somebody who has gone onto that page and actually sent us some money as well. It's Andrew Cleaver. They actually they donated $100, so it's already on that page. Which I thought they can't make it, but they've already donated $100, which I thought was amazing. I'm trying to get something going. I'd love to have this to be an annual deal so we can make a bunch of money, because go to Riley Children's Foundation online and see what they do. It is unbelievable, the stuff that they do for the Riley Children's Hospital and a number of different organizations around the Indianapolis area there. It's just, to me, it's amazing stuff.
So that means there's 10 burgers there that I can eat already, right?
Well, it's $10 a plate, Dave. So drop a $100 and you're good to go.
Well, he wasn't. They weren't going to be there, so I figured that $100 was towards my eating budget.
That's
right?
Probably true, because I know when they were messaging me, they said, "We'll put the money in, and you give the plates to somebody else." I was more like, "We'll just hold." So David Cole, we'll probably give you a burger, buddy.
I'll give them to 10 people. It's okay. I don't need to eat 10 burgers. Although I do have to add weight, so maybe 10 burgers will be good.
You and I both, no doubt about that. Yeah. But I'm telling you, you've never had one of my smash burgers, David. You're going to dig it. They're tasty. Just no onions on yours.
No onions, yeah.
But it's an Oklahoma fried onion burger, dude. It's so good. All right. Enough of burger talk. We'll get back to Burger Smash later. Folks, another break in the action. When David and I come back, we're going to talk about the World Championship a little bit. David, of course, kept his eye on the event. He'll fill you in and get a full scoop on who is the 2019 World Champion. Stay with us. More to come. You've heard and read about us. We're the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. After putting all 8 of our X30 senior drivers in the main at last year's SCUSA Super Nationals, we're the tent you need to be under this November. We have just 4 spots available, so contact us today to lock in one of our final opportunities. We may be prepping for Las Vegas, but it's also time to talk about 2020. Joining the Rawlson Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Our industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and former Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. In 2020, we'll be racing in the SCUSA Winter Series, Pro Tour, and California Pro Kart Challenge, as well as the IKF Northwest region. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. We do have different levels of programs available for the IKF Sprint Grand Nationals at Pat's Acres on the September 20, 21, 22 weekend. So if you want to get a head start on 2020, come up and join us and take your shot at winning a Duffy, one of the most prestigious trophies in the sport. We're the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Powered by technology, DID racing chains have a worldwide reputation for superior quality and reliability. Meticulously engineered and manufactured in Japan, DID genuine parts are the world's #1 original parts supplier for Japanese and European motorcycle manufacturers. A rich racing tradition where results speak for themselves, DID prides itself on engineering the most technologically advanced chains on the market to help you excel on and off the track. DID's SDH pin treatment creates an extremely hard chromium carbide layer on the pin surface that houses a soft inner core to absorb extreme shock loads. DID's 219 HTZ racing chain boasts this SDH pin technology, which leads to longer chain life as well as excellent energy transmission to the wheels. Available in the gorgeous gold, the 219 HTZ is the ultimate racing kart chain. Pick up a DID chain at your local dealer today, because when winning is the only thing that matters, go with DID.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Wheeler from Bell Helmets. Bell Racing USA is now the official helmet of Superkarts USA. You can find our newest line of products such as the Carbon KC7 CMR, the only carbon fiber built helmet approved with a CMR rating in the entire world during the 2019 season by visiting PSL Karting on site at all SCUSA events. Check us out online, www.bellracing.com, or on social media by following @BellRacingHQ.
Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. This is episode 14 of This Week in Karting. David Cole, it's pretty much all yours. I was busy as hell at the IndyCar race. Fill us in. Give us a scoop of what happened at the World Karting Championships this year.
Well, actually, the World Karting Championships took place while you were in Texas. I believe.
Texas. It was a non-ending thing for me.
I'm just kind of giving you because this was basically 2 weeks ago when the World Karting Championships took place. Yes, last weekend was the Gearbox World Karting Championships.
What's wrong with my life? Oh my God, I didn't even. Yeah, all right. Well, good thing I got you.
That's okay. I'm just straightening you out, just like when you miss the apex or. You miss the exit, I'm going to straighten you out and move you off into the grass. Wow. So it's okay.
Well, at least that's why I pay you the big bucks. That's for sure. All right.
That's right.
Give us a scoop.
I probably won't get paid. I won't get paid.
Stop talking and talk about the Worlds.
The Worlds. Well, wouldn't you believe it? But Lorenzo Travisinato scored the World Karting Championship once again. It was, he wasn't quite the season that he had last year going into the event, but still it's the World Championships and the best step up when it's that time. And Travisinato was able to score the World Karting Championships for a second straight year.
Is it Travisinato or I thought it was Travisinato?
Travisinato.
There you go. Let's get this right. Don't Americanize it on him.
Well, that's how I am. So the Italian was able to earn his second straight aboard the Kart Republic chassis with IAME power. Taylor Barnard of Great Britain was second, giving Kart Republic a 1-2, IAME a 1-2 as well. That's too.
Big, yeah.
And Harry Thompson from Great Britain scoring third place aboard his FA Kart Vortex machine.
How many? I didn't follow close enough. How many American drivers did they have, and who was top American?
I believe there were 5 in the OK category. Leading the way, though, the only driver to make the main event, because, again, they limit it down to 34 drivers.
Yeah.
The only driver to make it was Sebastian Montoya, representing the USA colors, and he was able to finish 28th in his Tony Kart machine.
What about the junior categories?
Junior category, again, another one of those massive categories with tons of drivers in it. Thomas ten Brinke of the Netherlands was the champion aboard the FA Kart. Brazilian Rafael Chaves Camara was second, with the Lithuanian.
Come on, I can't wait for this.
Kaju Siknelis. Siknelis. Yes, Lithuanian. OTK went 1, 2, 3 in the category. So good for them. But it was that one I didn't really watch too much. I was actually busy that weekend. So I didn't able to get to watch it. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that event. Top American in that category. I believe we had 4 in that. Connor Zillage being at 1. Ugo Chukwu was also in that as well. But it was Santiago Trezzini that was the top American, finishing 21st in his Kart Republic.
Let's move on to the Gearbox KZ World Championships, and actually a driver that we've seen here before. Ran some SCUSA Pro Tour racing, ended up standing on top of the box.
Who we thought was going to be the Super Nationals winner last year in the KZ category.
That's true. That's
Marian Kremers. It was until the red flag. Kremers was leading the Super Nationals last year.
That's true.
And once they restarted, he dropped back to second, couldn't get back to the lead. Excuse me. But this time, Kremers basically dominated the main event at the World Karting Championships held at South Garda Karting in Lonato, Italy. Dominated the main event. Never relinquished the lead to score his first World Karting Championship. It was Adrian Renaud. See, that one I don't know.
I would say Renaudin
from Sodi Kart. He was P2. He was P2 for much of the event as well, but a pushback bumper penalty dropped him off the podium down to 9th. That moved up Burrell Art driver Ricardo Longhi to 2nd. So that gave Burrell Art the 1-2 finish. And Boss Lammers, another Super Nationals competitor, he put his Sodi kart into 3rd after starting probably outside the top 5. So he had one of those. He had a great drive going. He thought he was going to be able to catch up to the top 2, but just did not. Just basically ran out of time.
A couple of the USA big guns there as well.
Yeah, CRG Nordam drivers Austin Garrison, AJ Myers made the trek across the pond to take part in the event. It's been a while. It's been since Gary Carlton that we had a USA driver in the Gearbox World Karting Championships. So I believe that was 2 years ago because Gary wasn't racing last year. So Austin Garrison was the lone driver to make the main event. He ended up finishing 23rd after starting, I believe, in the 28th position. AJ Myers was primed to get into the main event, but a seized engine in his last heat dropped him down in the points to 37th. So he was 3 spots short of making the main event. And then Orlando Karting Center's Andre Martins did a bucket list type event, decided to race with the big boys in KZ. The 51-year-old driver went and raced with the Tony Kart factory team. So he got to witness Marco Artigo's last race and compete in the KZ category. Obviously didn't make the main event, but still had a great time.
That's awesome. I love seeing that. Get out there and have some fun. That's great. What about the KZ2 category, the KZ2 World Cup?
This was a really great battle, racing up front. I've been to South Garda. It's a very interesting track now that they've had the changes done to the layout. It actually opens up for a couple more passing opportunities, especially in the gearbox category, because it seemed like the right-hand turn that they installed right in front of the grid is one of the key passing zones for the KZ categories. So this was a fun race to watch. But it was Sodi kart driver Emilian Denner who scored the victory ahead of David Valdez Ahenro. How do you say that? Ahenro?
I don't do that. Ahenro?
Ahenro, yes. It sounds good. See, if I hear it, I can say it.
David Vidales Henyo.
Yep. And then Emil Scarez was 3rd. He was really one of the quickest drivers on the racetrack, but he got shuffled back in some of the good racing that was going on. Again, you get past and then 2 guys would go by you. So it was really cool to watch. He was probably one of the quicker drivers on the track, but ended up finishing 3rd. Jamaican Colin Daly was there competing as a lone North American driver in the KZ2 category. Was 81st after the heat races out of 121. So not a bad showing for the Jamaican.
No, not at all. And the Academy was there as well?
Yeah, the Academy Trophy rounded out their 3-race program. This was their finale. Kazush Skin, I think is the same guy that was in the the Lithuanian Kazush Skinilis. Yep. Was
Six Nellis.
Ended up Sick Nellis. There you go.
Six Nellis.
Ended up winning the championship. Became the first Lithuanian to ever win a CIK FIA title.
Impressive.
Christian Ho, who ended up winning the race in at Lonato, moved up into 2nd in the points, with Robert De Haan of the Netherlands finishing 3rd. Canadian Justin Arsenault was among the podium contenders, but was crashed in the main event early on. Ended up finishing 16th in the points. Luca Mars did not attend the race and thus finished 15th overall in the points.
Let's move back home here, David, to kind of talk about an update. I know that you spent some time, and it does take a ton of time. Took all the results, jammed all the stuff back into the calculations, all the input for the EKN driver rankings powered by Bell Racing. You came out with new rankings, updated rankings for both the shifter kart category and our tag categories. Give us a look at the top 3 in both of those programs.
Yeah, not much has changed throughout the year, especially in the shifter kart categories. We still have AJ Myers sitting up on top ahead of Billy Musgrave, with Pro Tour champion Kyle Wick in 3rd. Myers basically has 133 points over Wick. Musgrave, a little bit, just 90 points back in second. So really the Supernats, now that all three have been racing all year long, all three raced last year in the Super Nationals. Obviously, Musgrave winning it. Myers was second. I believe Kyle Wick was on the podium. So we'll see how everything shakes out when after Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too, right? CRG, Croc Promotion, and now Tony Kart for those three drivers. I like it. Let's take the gloves off and do it again for Supernats. Let's see who comes out on top. It's P1. Let's see. It's interesting.
It will be very interesting because again,
and somebody's getting a new helmet, right?
Yes, correct. With Bell Racing, with the rankings powered by Bell Racing. Tag, same situation as well with Ryan Norberg on top. Four-time SCUSA Pro Tour champion, still holding the top spot. Brandon Jarzakrak sitting there in second, about 140 points out of the lead. So both of these drivers did not have a good finish at the Super Nationals. So if they were to finish, say, top 5 or even win, it'll certainly help and improve their point standings.
Yeah, and throw that out there because obviously with the driver ranking, it's the last 12 months sliding scale. So you keep sliding 12 months. So when you input the 2019 Superkarts USA Super Nationals results, last year's get thrown out. So you can run as many races as you want throughout the year. The rankings are your best 7 races. We could make them best 8, best 9, best 10, but a lot of these guys don't run that many races. They'll run only 7, 8, or 9 races anyway. So,
Oh, sorry. I didn't mention Trey Brown yet, sitting there in third. Yeah. Trey's kind of been steadily moving up, so now he's reached the 3rd spot. So still looking for that key victory that'll be able to improve his score. And as you were talking about the 7 events, Jake French just scored his 7th race, and he's now in the top 10 in the shifter kart rankings. So nice. If he were to say win at the Super Nationals or podium, you could see him possibly moving up into maybe one of the top 3 positions as well.
And as I just take a quick look at it too, one of the cool things about the rankings, David, is look where these drivers are from. For shifter karts, AJ Myers, Florida, Billy Musgrave, Southern California, Kyle Wick, Pacific Northwest. Like 3 of the corners of the country, right? And then you've got Tag, Norberg from Florida, Jarzakrak up in New Jersey, and Trey Brown in Southern California. All of the top 3 in both categories, all 4 of the kind of corners of the country are represented. I think that's pretty cool.
Where's Jarzakrak from?
Shillington,
Pennsylvania.
I thought it was New Jersey.
No, Pennsylvania.
You're right. He's the Shillington Slingshot. But again, up in the east, northeast, right?
Northeast. You are correct.
Which is really interesting. I think I like the fact that it just kind of such a great cross section for me.
Well, and you look at the chassis, Norberg's on a Cosmic, Brandon's on a Tony kart, and Trey's on a FA kart. So it's really different. Not
the color.
The colors are different.
All right, we just wrapped up the World Championships in both the OK and OK Junior and the KZ category. David giving us a little look at where things sit in the ECAN driver rankings. One more break in the action here on This Week in Karting. When we come back, we'll talk about the editorial we've had on e-karting news. We'll do a little podcast review of the podcasts that are now available that you can download. We'll talk about what's coming up as well on the EKN Radio Network, and then we'll wrap things up with where David and I are going EKN Live-wise. Folks, stick with us. We'll wrap things up on This Week in Karting after this break. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. We offer trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. We're also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and Miami, and we're your source for MG and Iveco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. In 2020, We'll be racing and providing arrive and drive programs for the full SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and the Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge, the WKA's Kart Week in Daytona, and exciting events like the USAC Battle at the Brickyard and the Rock Island Grand Prix. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. The 2019 season has been an exciting year for Rock Cup USA, and the schedule is set to close out its biggest event on the calendar, Rock the Rio. Rockers will converge on the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas to celebrate Halloween week, competing at this premier international event on October 28th to November 2nd, all around a challenging temporary circuit with the Las Vegas Strip in the background. Rock Cup USA programs are wrapping up their 2019 seasons across the country, including the Rock the Rockies in Colorado, Rock Sonoma, and California Rock Championships in California, and many other clubs across North America. Learn more about the Rock the Rio event and all things that are rock at rockcupusa.com. Carts, parts, engines, tires, and tools. At sharkshifter.com, what you need is just a click away. We carry the biggest names in chassis, like Tony Kart and FA, DR Kart, CRG, and VLR. We have new chassis and all the parts you need. At sharkshifter.com, we also stock top quality replacement parts from Swift Components, like axles, sprockets, and hubs. We have the inventory you need for your stock Honda as well, from cylinders, heads, and engine parts to reeds, exhaust pipes, ignition covers, radiators, air filters, and air boxes. We build our own billet aluminum components as well, including motor mounts and clutch levers. Need to add to your toolbox? We offer alignment tools, brake, battery, and exhaust tools, tire gauges, and hand tools. Stop messing around getting your seat in the right position. We have a seat mounting system that makes it easy. Check the website for monthly specials. If you need it, we can get it to you fast. We ship the same day. Sharkshifter.com, your online source for carts and parts. Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. All right, DC, let's talk about what we've had on the EKN website editorially. Like we obviously this week in karting is about all the news that comes in, but we crank out a lot of original content as well. What did we put together, and what did we have put together? New, fresh stuff on EKN this last month.
Really of note was the July Driver of the Month, Stephen Kilsdoink. That was published. We published also the August Driver of the Month. Because we had the July one come in a little bit late and a little bit after our This Week in Karting. So we published that. We also had the August Driver of the Month, which was Jake French after his Summer Nationals performance, sweeping the Pro Shifter category there. Mechanic Minutes. We had a little bit of delay of publishing the second event of the FIA Karting Championship Academy Trophy program from Italy. But Dan Schlosser was able to provide us with some great words and feedback of what it's like of being at the FIA Academy Trophy from that side of the fence. Obviously, giving us some details of tuning for that event, but also now adding in some food things, which we definitely love, because there's one thing about going to races: it's what happens at the racetrack and where do you eat.
So coming. Lots coming down the pipe, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, coming soon, we got our on-tracks from Battle of the Brickyard, my on-track from Rock Island. I think you have a couple other on-tracks that you're working on as well, too.
I've got mine from, I got it finished up. It's from Challenge of the Americas. I got a chance to drive Andy Saisman's Burrell with the VLR engine on. I got to wrap that up.
So a lot of those will be coming in October when you're just sitting home for those six weeks, right?
I can breathe. Yes.
There you go. Yes. We have Austin Garrison working on a driver diary from the FIA Gearbox World Karting Championships. So we'll kind of get his viewpoint of racing over there in Europe against some of the best shifter car drivers in the world. And then we also have some more product spotlights and columns coming up the works.
Obviously, I talk at the very top of the show here. I talk about our podcast. All the content that we put out, audio-wise, podcast-wise, first gets streamed on the EKN radio network. That's why you download the app. You're going to want to download the app soon because we're going to work in the off season on being able to stream our live broadcast through there. That's the goal, at least. So a great way to be able to listen to our live broadcasts. We have some recent shows since our last This Week in Karting that, David, you've been able to put into podcast form and get loaded up on iTunes and Google Play. Rock and roll through that list.
Well, obviously, the This Week in Karting, episode 13 from August 27th, that's available along with our EKN debrief of the Rock Island Grand Prix. Operation Grassroots will be a good one to listen to with the upcoming Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals 3 coming up, as you talked with Greg Jasperson. The EKN debrief from the Texas Pro Kart Challenge finale at Speed Sports is available, along with the recent hot seat interview with Race Liberante.
I enjoyed that. Race and I had a really good conversation. I think that's a really good podcast. He's such a cool story. I enjoyed that one a lot. I'm going to download that myself.
And it definitely makes it easier when the guest loves the radio already and loves to talk. So he was really thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah, it was fun. On the EKN radio network, again, folks, the only 24/7 karting radio station in the world, the EKN radio network. This week, David's been cranking out the Streets of Lancaster Grand Prix replays. Of course, I'm heading to the streets. I leave Friday morning. I will, of course, send David Cole a couple more photos of the In-N-Out burger that we eat. I know.
Man.
I apologize. I know. But always great to be at the corner there. In turn number 6 at the Streets of Lancaster. It's place is packed on Saturday night. Looking forward to some great racing. Then, of course, next week we'll have Dave will prep the live broadcast. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it on the weekend, he'll play that on the EKN Radio Network. Plus, when I get back on Tuesday, because I'll only be home for really a day and a half, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then actually Wednesday night I'm going to start heading down to Windsor, stay overnight Wednesday night, drive to the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals on Thursday. So we'll have our debrief, the EKN debrief podcast as well, running on the EKN Radio Network next week. David, let's wrap this thing up. We've got, 3 more races left in the next, 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, it's just the Supernats.
Yeah, as you said, you're going to be heading to the Streets of Lancaster Grand Prix September 28th through 29th. So a Saturday, Sunday event. In Lancaster, California. The one thing that I'm glad about not going to the event is the drive from LAX to Lancaster. It is, other than stopping at In-N-Out Burger, it is one of the worst drives because I don't know why, but I just get so car sick in that drive.
Well, Alicia Hodap's going to be handling the live broadcast. I land at 2. I get the rental car. She lands at 3. She's coming in from Seattle. Hopefully we'll beat the traffic as well. But yeah, it's a rougher ride getting up there for sure. It's a long drive too, a lot longer than I ever think it was. I never remember how long it is until we start doing it.
It's great in the carpool lane because you can somewhat breeze past all the traffic. But again, it just depends. The late night one isn't too bad. I think it's more in the day.
From there, like I said, I'm home for a couple of days. Then David and I both trek down to Newcastle for the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. Really excited to get down to that event. I just think the vibe, David, the atmosphere is going to be awesome. It's just going to be this huge, big 4-cycle race. Everybody there to have a good time. The racing is going to be super close. There's going to be so many different manufacturers, teams there. I'm going to be smashing burgers on Friday night. That makes me super happy. I'm excited. It's going to be a good weekend.
Now, you've never raced there, have you?
The only thing I've ever done at Newcastle, and I want to say it was probably mid-2000s, we tested the Cosmic Shifter Kart. And we tested the BSA shifter kart. It's the only time I've actually driven the racetrack.
That was 2005.
Yuck. 15 years.
Yeah. 2006 was the only time I've raced there. I've done testing. Right. I've done testing there. I've done plenty of testing, but I did a Great Lakes
in the tag.
A Great Lakes Pro Tour, or not Pro Tour, but Great Lakes Regional, SCUSA Great Lakes Regional there in a tag in the first kart.
I remember that.
So
right.
yeah, that was that. So it's been 13 years since I've raced there, but I did the 175 test where I did a laughable 10 laps in that thing. I did the CRG a couple years ago, and I did a Praga test there as well. So I think that's about it.
Well, so you're just lining up all these excuses for me if you're able to beat me.
No, I'm not lining up excuses. I'm just saying we have never really raced there.
You're right. We just never. Well, we're always in the.
Because I don't call my Great Lakes weekend. That wasn't really. I just was kind of down there just making laps. So this is going to be a little bit different.
After the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, David actually goes back down to Newcastle again for the final round of the WK Manufacturers Cup Series, October 11th, 12th, and 13th at Newcastle Motorsports Park. That caps off, David. What 4 trips to the race for you?
It'll be that'll be number 4. We'll get to hand out the coveted WK Eagles out to the race winners. Yep. Unfortunately, there's race winner on each day, but that's just the way it is. But great opportunity for drivers to take home what is a very prestigious trophy.
Well, folks, as I said, I've been on the road for what I think it was 9 of the last 11 weekends, something like that. I've got 2 more to go: Streets of Lancaster and Cup Karts North America. I will get a 6-weekend break. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to lift off the throttle, but 6-weekend break coming into the Supernats. Expect lots of great content here on the ECAN Radio Network. I've got a bunch of podcasts lined up. I've got a couple of Book It guests that are lined up, set to go. We're going to knock some Operation Grassroots out. We're definitely going to get our first roundtable in. We have a couple of topics to talk about with the roundtable. This all happening when we're here from Monday to Friday. You can get a lot more done. Thank you so much for tuning in. David, any final words? This episode of This Week in Karting?
Well, I hope you enjoy Lancaster. I do wish I could make it, but 3 weekends in a row does not work for me. But I hope you enjoy Lancaster. Should be a good event, and racing under the lights there is going to be fun.
I'm going to go into In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to get a triple burger with nothing but mustard and ketchup on it, and I'm going to video myself throwing it in the garbage.
That's just wrong. That's so wrong.
At Suck It Dave.
That is the Twitter handle. Yes. If anybody has In-N-Out Burger and they wish to share their love for it, you can go to Suck It Dave at Suck It Dave.
The product of Sean Buer. Yeah. If you want to rub your In-N-Out Burger in David's face, I would love to see more of it come in at Suck It Dave. Take a picture of eating it, enjoying it, so David will lose his mind. Appreciate that, folks. Like I will this weekend. Dave, I'll see you in a week.
It's hashtag beat Rob Howden.
Hashtag beat David Cole. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on This Week in Karting. Lots more to come here on the ECAN Radio Network. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.